and an included angle, then you can say yes, the triangles are congruent through the side, angle, side postulate.
So you don't have to try to make the five.
No.
Yeah.
Now, number 3, I want y'all to pay attention to something very closely because we are going to be using the reflexive property like crazy in proving triangles congruent and vertical angles like crazy. The book will never label vertical angles congruent, and it will never label a side equal to itself. But if you look at this these two triangles, doesn't this line segment make a side in both triangles?
Yes.
So it's not necessarily, well, yeah, it does. So what we show here is an x over any line that equals itself, and that's for the reflexive property. So now what we have here is a side, and an angle. Do we have a postulate named SSA?
No.
No.
But since we've held that line bisects it because the two angles at the top are congruent, can't you conclude that the two angles at the bottom are congruent, and therefore use the angle side angle postulate?
But it's not asking.
It's asking you if SAS
That
is true.
we agreed that line bisects the angle at the top, right?
Okay, but right now we're trying to say, does this justify? No.
But you can get to another.
We can keep going and we can figure it out. But right now we're answering the question, is side angle side going to justify? No, it's not.
Why not again?
Because the angle is not between
Oh, it has to be,
the two sides. It has to be between the two sides.
I'll see.
Turn the page to page 124. Numbers 4 through 9 says, can you prove the triangles congruent, and if so, through which of the 3 postulates that you just learned? All right, so here's our first one.
Yes.
Can we prove these congruent?
Yeah.
ASA.
Angle, side, angle. Number 5. You don't have to draw them there,
Yes.
but I'm doing this for people at home.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody needs to.
We are recording.
oops.
SSS.
If all the sides.
Where's the third side?
In the middle.
There.
Middle.
Go, Chris.
Y'all have to develop a keen eye for that and be able to see that. If it ever shares a side, automatically mark it congruent to itself. So yes, this one can be proven congruent through the side, side, side postulate. Number 6.
Yes.
What's not given but is known?
Vertical angle.
Vertical angles are congruent to each other. So yes, this can be proven congruent through the what?
SAS.
Make sure that it's a side angle side on both of them, okay? Because it might throw you off on one. Number 7.
They can't be.
No, we cannot prove these congruent. Look, this angle is between the two sides, while this one is at a complete different location. Corresponding parts must be equal to each other, and that is not the case there. What about in number 9?
No.
Angle side.
Oh, no.
Angle.
Yes.
Pay close
Angle side
attention.
side.
There's no
We
angle.
know this is true.
I don't want that seriously. Line.
No, you can't.
No, because in this triangle we have side, angle, side. In this we have side, side, angle. The angle is not included between the two sides that are indicated.
Okay.
All right, now let's look at number 10 because this one's just nifty.
Nifty.
Tell how you would prove that these two are congruent. Ooh. If, you know, my drawing looked right. Close enough. All right. Shh. And we've got W, Y, L, no, H. Oh, Lord. Y. Thank you. And this is W, and this is F. Y, fly. Okay. If we are given first that HY is congruent to LY, and that this is parallel to this, how could we prove that triangle Y is congruent to triangle fly?
Oh, you gotta do the thing with both
Pressing.
your
Angle H is an alternative angle of angle L, so they're equal.
Okay.
And then
Scott?
Oh.
No. Jacob?
Angle Y is congruent to angle Y, vertical angles, so you do the angle side angle.
Angle, side, angle. Now, that is the only way we can prove them congruent, because the other two options are this and this, which means we would have had to be able to prove that there was another pair of congruent sides. Well, we can't prove. We don't have enough information to prove that there's another pair of congruent sides. So automatically we ruled out these two options. So since this is our only last option, it means that we had to prove that these two angles equal these two angles. Because that's the only way we could prove the triangle's congruent. Josh?
There's a way to prove you have two different sides, because if angle H and angle L are congruent and the two angles of Y are congruent, then the only two angles left is W and F, and everything is supplementary, so W and F have to equal the same thing, which makes the, I just figured it out in my head, but I can't say it.
Okay, but I see what you're saying. If three angles of one equal three angles of another?
Right.
Okay, well, if three angles of one equal three angles of another, it does not necessarily mean that their sides are congruent. Because you can have an an equiangular triangle with sides 1 inch long, and you can have an equiangular triangle with sides 1 foot long. And 60 angles, like 60, 60, 60 equals 60, 60, 60. You can have a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle that's this big, and you can have a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle that's this big.
That's too big to sell.
It's still 3 angles equal to 3 angles, but they're not congruent because the sides aren't the same. Okay, so you can't go just by, there is no angle, angle, angle. Okay? All right. For homework tonight, you are doing page 125 through 126, numbers 1 through 21, the odds. This is your second assignment for the quarter.
What was the first?
Wow. First was page 21.
You may start on that right now.
Can you please look at my butt? I just want you to see.
I am not looking at your butt.
It is ridiculous. Like,
Chris is still recording.